You exit, you exhale, and for a split second you feel proud. Not because you made a fortune, because you survived. You hit close on a winning trade, the way someone grabs the last seat on a lifeboat. Your heart rate drops, your shoulders unclench. The danger is over. And then the chart does the one thing that feels personal. It moves. Without you, not a little. Not, maybe it would have. It rips in the exact direction you were in, for the exact move you were waiting for. And it does it the moment you're flat. So you stare at your empty position, like you just got off the elevator one floor, before your destination, and you whisper the same sentence you've whispered 100 times. Why do I always exit right before the move? In this video, I'm going to give you the real answer. Why your brain keeps hitting the eject button early. Why it feels rational in the moment, and the simple exit framework that stops you from donating your best moves to the market. And I'm going to warn you now, the last piece is the one nobody wants to hear because it has nothing to do with charts. And everything to do with what you're trying to avoid feeling. You're in a Forex trade on a 15-minute chart. Clean setup. You got the entry you wanted. You managed the risk the way you promised you would. Price pushes in your favour, and you're up a little over 1 hour. Then it pauses. Not a reversal, not a breakdown. Just a pause. A few candles go sideways. A wick pops against you. Your profit shrinks a little. And something ancient wakes up in your body. The part of you that doesn't speak in logic, it speaks in threat. Your hand hovers near the close button. Not because you've analysed a new signal, but because your nervous system is asking one question. Are we about to give it back? And here's the trick the market plays on your psychology. Giving back profit hurts almost as much as taking a loss. Sometimes more, because a loss is pain you expected. Giving back is pain you feel responsible for. So you exit. Small win. Relief. And then the pair breaks the range. Expands, runs the next leg, and prints the move you were originally in the trade to capture. That's the loop. Entry, progress, first pullback, fear, exit, regret. Then the worst part, you don't just miss money. You miss trust. You start thinking you can't hold winners. You start believing your best trades are only good for a few minutes. You start managing trades like you're trying to escape them, not trade them. Most traders lose money, and trading is difficult for a reason. The market doesn't just test your strategy, it tests your ability to sit inside uncertainty without flinching. This is education, not financial advice. Past patterns don't guarantee future results. Risk management is survival. Now let's name what's actually happening. You're not exiting early because you're undisciplined. You're exiting early because your brain is doing its job. Your brain is a prediction machine built to protect you. And in trading, your brain quickly learns that the fastest way to reduce emotional pain is to lock in certainty. A floating profit is uncertainty. It can disappear. A closed profit is certain, it's real. It can't hurt you anymore. So your brain associates the act of exiting with relief. That relief is a reward, and reward wires behaviour. It's the same conditioning that makes people check their phone every few minutes. The checking reduces tension for a moment, so the brain says, do that again. Every time you exit early and feel relief, you're teaching yourself a habit. When tension rises, flatten. And then you wonder why you can't hold. But here's where it gets worse. The market's healthiest trends often require the exact thing your brain hates. A pullback. Trends don't move like a straight line. They surge, breathe, shake, and continue. That breathing is what dislodges weak holders and creates fuel for the next push. If you exit at the first breath, you're not unlucky. You're systematically handing over the meat of the move. So the real question isn't, why do I exit right before the move? The real question is, why does the first pullback feel like a fire alarm? And the answer is simple. Because you're managing the trade based on your P&L, not on market structure. When your profit is the thing you're watching, every red candle inside your green trade feels like the beginning of the end. You start interpreting normal movement as danger because it's threatening your sense of safety. And once safety becomes the goal, you stop trading. You start surviving. There's a line I want you to internalize. If your explicit or even implicit goal is to not lose, you will exit early forever. Because the market can always threaten you with the possibility of losing what you have. Now, to make this practical, I'm going to give you the framework. It's a 4-part exit system, not an indicator. Not a magic trailing stop. It's a process that forces you to separate 3 things you currently blend into one emotional mess: your thesis, your risk, and your comfort. Here we go. First, you need 2 exits, not 1. Most traders only have 1 exit in their head. Close the position. That's like being on a long road trip and only having 1 option for your body: get out of the car. You need a different set of options. Your first exit is a risk exit. Your second exit is a structure exit. The risk exit is the stop you place because the trade is invalid if price breaks a specific level. That stop exists before the trade even begins. It's not negotiable. It's not emotional. It is the price that proves you are wrong about your setup. The structure exit is where you get out because the market has actually done something that changes the environment. Trend broken, key level reclaimed, momentum failed, opposite signal printed, volume dried up. Whatever structure change means in your playbook, if you don't separate those 2 exits, you will create a 3rd exit by accident, the comfort exit. That's the one where you leave because you feel weird. Second, you need a written hold reason, not just an entry reason. This is where almost everyone gets exposed. They can explain why they entered. They cannot explain why they are still holding. So when the pullback hits, they have no anchor, no sentence, no rule, no reason. They're basically holding the trade on vibes until the vibes turn. Before you place the trade, you write 1 line. I will hold this trade as long as this specific condition remains true. Not as long as I feel confident. A condition. For a trend trade, it might be, I will hold as long as price continues to make higher lows above the last swing level, or as long as the moving average slope stays up and price doesn't close below it, or as long as momentum doesn't break. For a breakout, it might be, I will hold as long as the breakout level holds as support and pullbacks fail to reclaim the range. The exact condition doesn't matter as much as the existence of a condition, because the condition gives you something stronger than emotion, a rule you can obey. Third, you need an exit ladder, planned decisions, not reactive decisions. Here's the problem with just trail your stop. When you trail emotionally, you tighten at the worst moments. You tighten right when volatility expands. You tighten right when the move is about to accelerate. You tighten because you're watching profit, not structure. So instead you build an exit ladder with pre-decided behaviors at pre-decided moments. Example, at 1R you do nothing. Not because you're stubborn, but because 1R is not the market proving anything. 1R is the market being polite. At 2R you can pay yourself a small piece. Small not because you're scared, but because it's part of your system. It buys you psychological breathing room without killing the trade. Then you leave the remaining position to follow the structure exit, not the comfort exit. This is how you stop doing the thing where you take full profits early and then watch the market do the real move without you. Paying yourself a piece is not weakness. It's a way to reduce the intensity of the give back fear so you can execute the part that actually matters. Letting the runner run. But, and this is important, your ladder has to be mechanical. Same steps, same triggers. Because if you decide in the moment, your brain will choose the option that reduces discomfort fastest, not the option that pays best over a series of trades. Fourth, you must train the pullback, not avoid it. This is the part people hate, because it means the problem isn't solved by finding a better trailing stop. It's solved by building tolerance. You exit early because you cannot stay present during the most normal part of a trend, the retracement. So you have to practice being in that retracement, not with full size, not with your entire week on the line, incrementally. You scale your risk down until you can watch the pullback without panicking. And then you run reps. The goal of those reps is not to make money. The goal is to build a new automatic response. Instead of pullback equals danger, you want pullback equals normal. And you do that by reviewing your trades and collecting evidence. Here's the exercise that changes everything. For the next 20 trades, after you exit, mark which one it was. Was it a risk exit? Meaning the invalidation level was hit. Was it a structure exit? Meaning the condition you wrote no longer existed. Or was it a comfort exit? meaning you left because the trade felt threatening, even though your conditions were still intact. If you do this honestly, you'll discover something brutal and freeing. Most of your early exits are comfort exits, and once you can name it, you can fix it, because you can't correct what you keep calling just being cautious. Caution is good when risk is real. Caution is expensive when it's just anxiety wearing a suit. Now let me bring Marcus in for 1 minute, because this is where most traders either grow up or stay stuck. Marcus is a system trader, not because he's emotionless, because he got tired of being emotionally predictable. He trades index futures, not on a 1-minute adrenaline chart, but on a calmer time frame where structure actually has meaning. His edge isn't that he's fearless, it's that his exits are pre-decided. He has a simple rule: he's not allowed to exit just because he feels relief would be nice. If his hold condition is still true, he stays. If the hold condition breaks, he's out. No speeches, no bargaining. The first month he did this, he hated it. He said it felt like sitting in a dentist chair while they're doing work. Nothing catastrophic is happening, but your body wants to flinch anyway. Then something shifted. He started noticing that the discomfort always arrived at the same moment, the first pullback after a push, and he realized he wasn't reacting to information. He was reacting to a sensation, so he treated it like training. He reduced size, he took reps. He documented comfort exits like they were data points, not moral failures. And over time, the pullback stopped feeling like a threat and started feeling like part of the pattern. That's when his results changed. Not because his entries got better, but because he stopped amputating his winners at the first sign of discomfort. So let's tie this back to you. If you always exit right before the move, you're probably doing one of 3 things. 1, you're watching your profit like it's a fragile glass you can't drop. 2, you have no written hold reason, so the first pullback becomes a vote on your identity. 3, your exits are improvised, so your brain chooses relief over expectancy. And there's a 4th, hidden one. You might be trying to prove something. You might be trading to feel competent, not to execute well. So the moment you're green, you want to lock it in. Not because it's optimal, but because it validates you. That's why early exits feel so good and so shameful at the same time. Good because you won. Shameful because you know you didn't actually follow a process. If that's you, hear this clearly. The market is not paying you to feel right. The market pays you to follow a repeatable process through uncertainty. Now here's what changes when you apply the framework. You enter the trade and the first push comes. Your profit appears. The old you would start negotiating. The old you would start thinking about screenshots. But now you have your 2 exits. You have your hold condition written. You have your ladder. You know what you do at 1R. You know what you do at 2R. You are not asking your emotions for permission. Then the pullback comes. You feel the same body signal. Of course you do. You're human. But instead of acting, you check one thing. Is my hold condition still true? If yes, you hold. Not because you're brave, because that's the job. If no, you exit. Not because you're scared, because that's the job. And when you do this over and over, something happens that feels almost unfair. Your confidence stops depending on the outcome of one trade. It starts depending on your ability to execute your system. And that's the only kind of confidence that survives. Because the market can take money from you, but it can't take process from you unless you hand it over. So the next time you catch yourself about to exit early, don't ask, what if it reverses? Ask the question that builds a trader. Am I exiting because the market changed, or because I want relief? If you can answer that honestly, you're already breaking the pattern. And if you want a clean follow-up to this, the next conversation is what happens right after you exit early, and watch it rip. How that regret turns into revenge trades, and how to shut that loop down before it takes your entire week. Because the goal isn't to catch every move. The goal is to stop quitting the exact trades that could finally pay you for being right.